All right, everyone, it's time for the big story of the day, which is the same as always. It's fucking Kavanaugh. Who could have possibly guessed that? Hearings are being held, of course, today. He's giving his testimony. The accusers are going to give testimony. It's like any number of crazy shit could happen, situations could happen today. So it's going to be like one of those on-call all-day things. Which is sad. It's like, I want to play balloons or something like that. I'm not really going to get a chance. I have a feeling that crazy shit's going to happen at the testimony. Some explosive new revelation. Brett Kavanaugh holds up a piece of paper. Oh yeah, here's email correspondence where they're openly planning this allegation stuff. Or Avenatti will get involved and he'll say stupid shit like usual. But the other thing is we've now got a third accuser, and it's now 100% less evidence than ever before. Basically, it's Avenatti, the creepy porn lawyer, you may know him as, who thinks it's a good idea to antagonize both the White House and 4chan at the same time. And not necessarily the greatest idea in the world. It turns you into a very negative living meme. The Stormy Daniels lawyer, I guess he got tired of representing Stormy Daniels because he realized, hey, there's no evidence with regards to this case. It's not going to go anywhere. The original report that said that the election was already on when the payoff was made was false, so we don't have a legal case. Basically, I'm fucked. I need to find something else to do. Oh, Brett Kavanaugh's in the news a lot. Hey everyone, anyone want to get paid to accuse Brett Kavanaugh of groping them up? The new tale. Here's the evolution of the Brett Kavanaugh accuser story. The first accusation is that when he was fucking hammered at a high school party, and he wasn't even an adult at the time, he pawed up a woman at the time without her consent. Not like rape, and he certainly wasn't sober. He was, underage drinking, and they were all hammered, and she can't even recollect most details of it or even tell where the party is. So that was the initial claim. The initial claim is basically what Trump would say is a childhood impropriety or something. Like, yeah, he was doing some heavy petting back in the day. He was a high schooler, with acne and perpetually horny or whatever. And it was just, creepy at the time. They were at a party where they were completely hammered. That has now evolved to say college-age Brett Kavanaugh, and indeed, fairly recent Kavanaugh, is perpetually having gangbang parties. He hazes female co-eds and has them in to get gang raped. He drugs the drinks. So basically, it's gone from Brett Kavanaugh made a mistake in high school to Brett Kavanaugh is a total fucking serial pervert. If this accusation was being made about someone on the left, do you think it would be taken seriously? Certainly, do you think it would make it to congressional testimony? Or do you think it would be laughed off by the entire corporate media as being nothing more than a Pizzagate-style conspiracy theory? Absolutely the latter. It would be totally laughed at. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if there were multiple accusers. Wouldn't matter if it got Me Too'd into the news. It would be laughed at, be big. Oh, this is the same sort of stuff from these online neckbeards that keep making these spurious accusations that somehow there's a problem with serial perverts within the political structure. But we all know that they're like gospel Jesus mode. They would never run a train on anyone. So you've got all of these other accusations. They go nowhere. Nobody wants to talk about them. If you bring them up, they claim whataboutism as though that's even a thing. Meanwhile, Brett Kavanaugh, he has 3 people accusing him. 2 of them can't even recollect significant details with regards to their story. It was, repressed memories this. I don't know about that. I just know I was violated. You have some woman saying, oh yeah, he basically smacked me with his cock at a party when I was drunk. And nobody can even confirm that he was there. He's like, this is not true. And here's the real tale in all 3 of these cases. People who are politically and legally minded have a tendency to simply not answer the question if the answer to it incriminates them. That is, if you say, did you do this? Did you rape this woman? Did you assault this teenager at the party? Did you run over the dog with your car? They'll say, well, these are spurious claims. These accusations are in bad faith. They'll work their way around it without ever saying simply, no, it didn't happen. No, it didn't happen. This isn't real. The way to tell that they're innocent, it's usually the case, is that they're not bothering to beat around the bush. They say, no, I completely reject this. It never happened. And that's what Kavanaugh has done 3 times. No, this categorically didn't happen. I don't even know who this person is. The party never occurred. I was never there. I don't know what you're talking about. It is a lie. He is flat out rejecting them in a legal sense. Someone who has legal training knows it's a little bit different than using a bunch of weasel words to never actually answer the question. For legal purposes, could get you in trouble being that direct. Why do you think lawyers always beat around the bush? They don't want to, when they're attempting to prosecute, they're very, very direct. They're trying to get directness. If they're attempting to defend themselves or others, they will beat around the bush for hours hoping that you get bored, hoping the jury doesn't actually hear what the fuck they're saying. It's basically the name of the game. It's a complex behavioral dance. It's kind of primitive when you think about it. It's not really logical. It doesn't have anything to do with real evidence. Meanwhile, I keep seeing people. I've had people talking about this like on Twitter. They're like, oh, well, prove that Brett Kavanaugh didn't do this. He doesn't have to prove jack shit. There is no evidence he was even at such a party. You're claiming that the man drugged people, raped them, and had them raped by dozens of men at a time. That he was running trains, as entering the public lexicon for the first time outside of maybe the dark underbelly of the internet. Now, by the way, there are some people, I'm sure, that are like really into that and think it's like the greatest thing ever. You are alleging that someone who is standing for the Supreme Court of the United States is a serial rapist, sexually assaulted many, many different individuals, and had them sexually assaulted by others. You're taking the claim seriously, but there's no evidence for it, except for the allegation. There is nothing to corroborate the allegation. We should completely toss it aside, give their cursory testimony, ignore it, and confirm him. But the chances of him being confirmed, in all honesty, are now lower because you have some of these cowardly neocons like Jeff Flake who are going to be very reluctant to cast a yes vote and then worry about, oh, will female voters punish me for this? Oh my goodness, will I be reelected if I vote in favor of Kavanaugh being put in that position after these allegations, even if they're fucking bullshit and there's no evidence of them? It's basically what happens. If I were there, I would vote to confirm him. I'd say, what seriousness is there? You've got two of these people can't even recollect specific events, and then Avenatti gets involved? Oh, the Stormy Daniels dude, the dude who thought that Donald Trump was going to get impeached because he got his dates wrong. That's not exactly, no, I don't think that does it for me. Get a legit lawyer. Get a legit legal expert involved. Rudy Giuliani implicates that somebody got assaulted. Then people might believe it a little bit more. Avenatti is just a shyster who is making a killing off of all of the controversy that he's managed to make. Branding-wise, marketing genius. I'd love to hire him as a lawyer. Definitely. It'd be a real winner. Of course, just by hiring him at this point, it's like, by associating with this obviously slimy lawyer who constantly inserts himself into every media circus in order to generate a name for him and for his legal cohorts, it almost implicates you in wrongdoing just by being associated with him. And then you've got Katz there. She was caught on film with the Black Power t-shirt. It's like, what? It's like totally partisan at this point. There are people who don't believe this is a partisan hatchet job who are actually taking these allegations seriously. And then you've got the Feinstein issue. Why is nobody talking about the fact that Feinstein thought she knew that there was a credible accusation of sexual assault by someone who could end up on SCOTUS and decided to wait until a couple days before the initial confirmation hearing was scheduled to dump the letter? Why the hell isn't anyone talking about that? It's like for a while they're like, oh, this is a little bit weird, including some people on the... You need to hold her toes to the fire. Why the fuck would you want to vote for Feinstein? And I think her opponent is a Democrat. Just vote for him. If you're a Democrat, go ahead. Kick her out of office. It's still going to be a Democrat from California in that spot. It's not like the Republicans can win because of the jungle primary system they've got in California. It's a Democrat versus a Democrat. Feinstein's in her 80s, dude. She's obviously demented. She's not going to be able to serve another full Senate term. It's never going to happen. I thought she was retiring after the last one. Didn't she, like, remark, oh, yeah, basically, I'm getting older now, fuck this shit. I thought she was retiring. What happened to that? Did she say, oh, no, I'm going to stick it out for one more because I want to be a gadfly against Trump and make more of a name for myself talking about orange, small-handed Hitler? The Kavanaugh stuff is just a fucking freak show at this point. Avenatti's gotten involved. It's like, is Stormy Daniels going to allege, yeah, Brett Kavanaugh and his friend Judge there, they ran a train on me at the party. It was really great, but he shouldn't be in SCOTUS in all honesty, because I don't think SCOTUS, they shouldn't be running trains on people in college. No, I don't believe that accusation even slightly. It is so out there that the threshold of evidence for something like that, something that stands out a little bit more than, hey, he got drunk and pawed me up at a party 35 years ago. Okay, that's more of a mundane claim. I'm sure that happens to an unfortunately large extent a lot of the time in high school parties. What about having people gang raped after drugging them? Do you think that that's a common practice? I would hope not. It's probably more common than unfortunately we'd like to admit, but it's still hopefully a rarity. Now, I don't believe it 100%, I disbelieve it. Show me the evidence. People are saying, well, you've got to believe the victims. Okay. First, though, you need evidence to establish victimhood. You can't simply say, hey, I was raped. Oh my God, you poor victim. No. Fucking show evidence. If you can't show evidence, then you're not a victim. And if you are a victim, well, there's no evidence. You can't crucify somebody for it. Much as though you may be inclined to do so. It's like saying, oh, I think that you shot this other person. You're going to prison. Oh, well, there's no evidence of it. We don't need any evidence. We just feel that you're guilty. This person died, they're a victim, therefore you specifically must have been the perpetrator. How do you know that it couldn't have been someone who just looked like Brett Kavanaugh smacking someone with his cock? How do you know the party even happened? We don't even know that. It's like Brett Kavanaugh's calendar getting submitted as evidence. What the fuck does that prove one way or the other, as an exonerating or an implicating factor? It doesn't mean anything. It's just a piece of paper that someone scribbled on years ago. How do you even prove that it was scribbled on back in the 1980s? It's fucking impossible, dude. Oh, we're going to do a chemical analysis of the magic marker used on this calendar. Oh, by the way, we found semen from 5 different males here and some other fluids too. Jury's still out on that one. What do you expect to find, dude? At the end of the day, this testimony is going to be he said, she said. By the way, when Jeff Flake, or when people on the left are like, we're going to force Jeff Flake to start an FBI investigation. I hope that you manage to get the FBI to officially weigh in, and I mean beyond just giving out a tweet. Because the FBI is going to say what they fucking said before. There's no evidence of wrongdoing. These are old cases. It is he said, she said. We can't start an investigation into something like that. Leave us the fuck alone. And this is a partisan FBI that apparently is run by people who I bet would love to destroy Brett Kavanaugh. I'm sure there are plenty of people at the FBI, obviously, who don't want Trump to get another SCOTUS appointee. But even they're not going to take up the case. It would be a political job if they did. They know that they can't. They know there's no way they're going to be able to implicate someone on a 35-year-old sexual assault charge. You don't even have proof, no corroboration that there was even the party in question. You don't know anything. This person could have just gotten hammered and gotten sexually assaulted by someone who came in their window, and they wouldn't even know the difference. It's like this past life. This is exactly like, by the way, with the repressed memories, and I can't recall anything, but I know it happened stuff. That sounds a lot like the claims that were made in the 1980s against people who ran like daycare centers or were in government or something. Oh, they're secret Satanists. They have a rape dungeon below the Presidio or something. None of the claims were ever corroborated despite thorough investigation. Specifically because it was prefaced, a lot of psychics at the time and a lot of so-called therapists were getting involved in regression and false memories and the MK Ultra stuff, and they were sort of fiddling around with people's minds and creating the moral panic. In an attempt to help people, originally, a lot of them did a lot more harm than good, and so, naturally, the cases fell apart because they weren't real cases. Now they have the Pizzagate shit and spirit cooking. Same fucking shit. It's part of the same fucking moral panic. And then you have the Me Too stuff. At this point, it's become part and parcel of the moral panic. We've gotten to the point where a lot of people in society want to cast aside the concept of the burden of guilt, of the concept of evidence at all. It's like, hey, your claim is good enough for me. Yo, you claim that thou art a witch. Well, thou art a witch. What say ye, witch? It's the same fucking shit. Other night, so I'm posting the accusation scene from the Crucible. I like the witch accusal scene also from Monty Python there. I think that's rather showing. It shows the same kind of roundabout non-logic that's used by, at this point, the witch hunters. And that's what they are. They're hunting for witches in many cases. What they find and what they attempt to crucify or hang or burn isn't going to be a witch. And the few witches that are out there are crafty enough not to get caught. Cough, cough. Epstein, cough, cough, Bill Clinton, fucking Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, idiots like that. That's about all. Peace out.